Christmas celebrations in Syria confined to prayers and religious masses, with sermons asserting Syria's ability to defeat terrorism. Syrian Arab Army units killed tens of ISIL terrorists in al-Hasaka and the countryside of Homs and Latakia. Russia doubts the effectiveness of the US-led coalition strikes against ISIL. Good afternoon and Merry Christmas, everybody. In view of the present circumstances and out of respect for the country's martyrs, Christmas celebrations in Syria have been confined to prayers and religious masses. Christmas sermons affirmed that Syria, which has been the source of illumination and peace for the world, will ultimately triumph over terrorism and will continue to remain the ambassador of love, tolerance and fraternity.
Christmas celebrations in Syria this year have been limited to prayers and the religious masses due to the events in the country and out of respect for the souls of the martyrs who sacrificed their lives to defend the dignity of Syria. A sermon was held at Marjor's Cathedral for the Syriac Orthodox in Baptuma in Damascus, during which Archbishop Juan Luqaq, the patriarchal assistant at the Patriarchy of Antioch and all the Orient for the Syriac Orthodox, talked about the noble significance of this holy occasion and the sublime values it implies. He stressed that national unity in Syria is the reason behind the country's steadfastness and strength. At the Archbishopric of the Catholic Armenians, Archbishop Joseph Arnaouti prayed to God for security and stability to be established in the country in order to start a new life full of love, tolerance and reconciliation. A huge mass was also held at the Merkite Greek Catholic Patriarchal Cathedral in Qassa in Damascus, led by Archbishop Joseph Absi, the Patriarchal Vicar in Damascus. He affirmed that Syria will overcome the crisis due to the awareness and unity of its people. Similar prayers and religious hymns were held at the Church of the Virgin, the Lady of Damascus for the Greek Merkite Catholics, in which worshippers prayed to God for peace and reconciliation to prevail in Syria and for national dialogue to start in the country. On his part, Archbishop Khoury of the Holy Cross Church for the Greek Orthodox prayed to God to protect Syria and keep it unified and to safeguard the valiant Syrian Arab Army and the country's wise leadership. A sermon was also held at the National Evangelical Church, which was headed by priest Boutros Zahour, the church's spiritual chief. He said the Syrians' unity has enhanced Syria's solid stand and confrontation of the pressures and adversities it has been exposed to. Worshippers at St. Mar Yusuf Church for the Greek Catholics and St. Mar Elias Church for the Greek Orthodox prayed to God to keep Syria safe and to bless the souls of its martyrs.
Christian denominations in Al-Qalamoun in Damascus countryside also celebrated Christmas with prayers and religious masses at churches. The sermons underlined the Syrians' steadfastness in the face of terrorism and their unity in the face of conspiracies and sedition. They also underlined the message of love conveyed by Jesus Christ, affirming that the Syrians are advocates of peace, good and illumination, and Syria's strength lies in its people's cohesion.
I want to send a message from this place in which we are in Syria, to say to all the world that we here in Syria is the land of peace, the land of charity, the land where we live together, Islam and Christian, we live together in an atmosphere full of love and respect.
Celebrations of Christmas across Syrian governorates were also limited to prayers in churches in view of the events in Syria and in respect of our martyrs' souls. Sermons highlighted the noble meanings of Christmas and prayed to God to protect Syria and its people, army and leadership, and to restore peace and security to the country. In Lebanon, and during a Christmas Mass at the Church of Resurrection in Kirki, Maronite Patriarch Cardinal Mar Bashar al-Rai said, "Our prayers are dedicated to the light of peace to shine in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, the Holy Lands and the entire Middle East." He extended thanks to His Eminence Pope Francis of the Vatican for the message he addressed to the Christians of the Middle East and his solidarity with them and with the kidnapped in Lebanon, Syria and Iraq and others of various religions in their plight and ordeals. Christmas celebrations in occupied Palestine were sad and gloomy as usual due to the daily Israeli aggression against the Palestinian people. Catharina Latin Church inside the Nativity Church in Beit Lahem held a mass headed by Patriarch Fuad Tawal for the Latin Church in the occupied territories, attended by Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and a crowd of citizens. During the sermon, Patriarch Tawal said that the Israeli occupation imposed restrictions on Palestinian worshippers, preventing them from visiting the holy sites. He condemned the Israeli practices against the Palestinian people, like demolishing houses and erecting the racist segregation wall, calling on the international community to exert pressure on the occupation authorities in order to stop their attacks against the Palestinians. In the Vatican, Pope Francis has called for confronting the very difficult situation with love, moderation and prayers. In a Christmas Mass attended by approximately 5,000 people, the Pontiff said, "The world needs love today." He denounced the deviation practices of modern society and that of some men of religion. Welcome back. Units of the Syrian Arab Army and armed forces killed scores of ISIL terrorists in al-Hasaka countryside. An official source in the governorate said Syrian Arab Army troops killed 70 ISIL terrorists and destroyed a number of their machine-gun-equipped vehicles in the areas of Tal al-Qasayib and Tal Ghazal, 45 kilometers south of al-Qamishli. An official military source also said units of the Syrian Arab Army and armed forces killed a large number of terrorists and destroyed their vehicles in various parts of Hom's countryside, namely Mas'ada, Rish, Rajm al-Qasr, As-Sa'an and others. Syrian Arab Army forces also killed terrorists who tried to infiltrate into Al-War farms. Meanwhile, army personnel killed many terrorists, the majority of them foreigners, in 7 areas in Latakia, northern countryside, destroying their vehicles which were loaded with ammunition. Spokesman for the Russian Foreign Ministry has expressed doubts about the effectiveness of the airstrikes launched by the coalition airstrikes against ISIL terrorist positions. Moscow also expressed doubts over the veracity of information on the coalition's successes in the fight against ISIL terrorists. The Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stressed the necessity of combating ISIL expansion in Syria and Iraq, pointing out that some terrorist group affiliated with ISIL have begun to appear in Afghanistan. Lavrov, in an interview with the Russian newspaper Kommersant, said that it's necessary to take measures against ISIL territorial expansion, making it clear that some terrorist groups have become active north of Afghanistan, close to Russian borders. He warned against reports which suggest that ISIL groups may use chemical weapons in different areas. Finally, in Iraq, the army killed dozens of ISIL terrorists, liberating 14 villages west of al-Ramadi in al-Anbar province. Iraqi military sources pointed out that the army took control of villages and towns in Jazirat al-Baghdadi and Jubbeh, expelling dozens of ISIL terrorists. The Iraqi army, meanwhile, continued to make progress in Salah ad-Din province, conducting the joint military operation in the areas of Balad and Abdulwaiya, south of Tikrit. Yesterday, the Iraqi army took control of the areas of Abu Hashmeh al-Ramiya and al-Jabha in Salah ad-Din and al-Anbar provinces, killing more than 60 ISIL terrorists. With this we conclude our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Karun Kürkcan, but after a short break.